I'm Charles David with Florida Probate Law Group. Our firm facilitates child injury settlements for lawyers throughout the state to ensure that all court approval and guardianship requirements are met without delay and without mistakes that could cause the settlement to blow up years down the road. Court approval guidelines for minor settlements in Florida are based on the gross settlement amount and the net settlement amount. The gross settlement amount refers to the total settlement amount before attorney's fees, costs, and medical liens are deducted. The net settlement amount refers to the amount that will ultimately be paid to the minor after all fees, costs, and liens are paid. For a gross settlement of $15,000 or less, court approval is not required unless you have already filed a complaint in the case. If a complaint has been filed, court approval is required regardless of the amount of the settlement to the child. Absent the filing of a complaint, the child's parents have full authority to settle the child's claim and sign a release without court approval for a gross settlement under $15,000. When the gross settlement is over $15,000 but less than $50,000, court approval becomes necessary, and the net settlement paid to the minor will determine if a guardianship of the property is required. For a gross settlement between $15,000 and $50,000, if after the payment of attorney's fees, costs, and medical liens, the child will receive a net less than $15,000, only court approval is required. Once approved, the child's parents will have the legal authority to execute a release as the child's natural guardians. Further, no restrictions will be placed on the proceeds received by the minor. This means that the parents may spend the money as they see fit. However, for a gross settlement between $15,000 and $50,000, if a minor will receive a net of more than $15,000 after the payment of attorney's fees, costs, and liens, court approval of the settlement is required, as well as the creation of a legal guardianship. Therefore, the parents or a professional guardian must apply and be legally appointed as the guardian of the property for the minor's assets before the court will approve the settlement. Absent their appointment as legal guardians of the property, the parents are not legally authorized to execute a release of the minor's claim. Once a guardian of the property is appointed and the settlement is approved, the minor's net must be placed into restricted account or into a court-approved annuity. Funding an annuity for a child without the appointment of a legal guardian does not create a binding settlement, and such a settlement can be undone by parents at any time, forcing you to return earned fees. For a gross settlement over $50,000, court approval of the settlement is required, as well as a legal guardianship and the appointment of an attorney ad litem. Therefore, before approving the settlement, the court will require, in addition to a legal guardianship being established, a report from a personal injury attorney who has no connection to the minor's case as to whether the settlement seems appropriate under the circumstances. It is possible to have the attorney ad litem requirement waived, although you will always be required to have a court-appointed guardian of the property when the settlement is over $50,000. Finally, it's important to remember that global settlements also fall under these rules. A child receiving a settlement of any amount as part of a global settlement with a total gross value of $50,000 or more requires court approval. For instance, if a child receives a settlement for $5,000 and a family member in the same accident receives $45,000, the entire $50,000 settlement is subject to court approval. It's crucial to understand the intricacies of minor settlement approval to get paid faster and to avoid having an executed release later rendered ineffective by a parent who changes their mind or a child who turns 18 and thinks that they deserved more money. We at Florida Probate Law Group work with injury attorneys across the state to ensure that their child injury settlements follow Florida law. Call us anytime for a free consultation to discuss your case. We work on a flat fee basis, billing your client's net at settlement resolution. If you have not already, download our child injury flowchart for a quick reference on what is required for child injury settlements based on settlement amount.